Is there too much load on you? This time you're the director, producer, actor, choreographer, what all?
No, I think it's a lovely weight. It's like carrying a child. It's never too heavy.
Between the two of you, who takes the creative calls?
No, Riteish. I don't have a creative bone in my bone. I mean, I'm good with my job. I love my acting.
You have in mind a road ahead. Where do you want to take Mumbai Film Company?
We just want to tell stories that connect to the heart. Is what we want to do when we want to make films.
I've had the good fortune of working with Rajamouli and to seeing a Bahubali as well. Like I did side to, so I've seen that kind of growth.
Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, those industries are the first choice for that state. When it comes to Maharashtra, Hindi film industry or Hindi films are the first choice, and then Marathi films. So there's a lot of struggle.
Whether it was in Marathi or whether it was in Hindi, he would do it the same way. So that meant no compromise at all.
Hi guys, this is Riteish Deshmukh.
Hi, this is Genelia Deshmukh.
And you're watching Bollywood Hungama.
Riteish, Genelia, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. Always good to see both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exciting time. I'll start with you. Is there too much load on you? This time you're the director, producer, actor, choreographer, what all?
No, I think there is. It's a lovely weight. It's like carrying a child. It's never too heavy. You love the weight. You want to carry it. And the beauty of it is that you do it with utmost care and love.
Right.
That's what I would like to say.
I want to ask you, who's between the two of you, who takes the creative calls?
No, Riteish. I don't have a creative bone in my bone. I mean, I'm good with my job. I love my acting. Like, I think being an actor for me is acting. I really love it. Like the peripherals of it are actually difficult for me. Like all this dressing up, going out, doing those things are difficult for me. But if you have to give me a role and tell me that creative aspect I can do, but nothing else, whether it's script or it's totally Riteish. And I think you need to be clear on that. That, just because you're part of the industry, you can't be good in everything. You need to know your strengths and need to know where you don't. So the creative, everything creative is Riteish.
Riteish, before I come to the film, I want to talk to you about your vision for Marathi cinema, your vision for your production house. Is there something you have in mind, a road ahead? Where do you want to take Mumbai Film Company?
See, when we started Mumbai Film Company, it started with a dream of trying to do something in regional cinema, that is Marathi cinema.
Right.
We started off with Balak Palak, then we did Yellow. Both were different films, both were unusual films at that point that would happen, and both films didn't have me. So it wasn't that we started films where we were trying to make films for ourselves. Then we did Lay Bhari, which was a great commercial success. Then we went back to doing Faster Fene. We bought the rights of a book and made a film, and it did well for us as a production house, and also again it didn't have me. Then we did Mauli, which at that point was a film that had the most amazing action in terms of Marathi cinema. We worked a lot on that. And again, we just want to tell stories that connect to the heart is what we want to do when we want to make films. I truly believe that in Marathi cinema, there are extremely great filmmakers that tell stories that resonate with the audiences. Also stories that feel like, wow, this is incomparable to world cinema, and they go do the festival rounds, win top awards there, and be it Oscars or Berlin or Cannes or wherever, and there's a lot of that. But at Mumbai Film Company, we want to also understand that for an industry to survive, and especially when you talk about Marathi industry, because we are under the shadow of the Hindi film industry. Elsewhere you have say Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, or Malayalam. They're independent industries, and those industries are the first choice for that state. When it comes to Maharashtra, Hindi film industry or Hindi films are the first choice, and then Marathi films. So there's a lot of struggle even there to be the second choice, because you have 3-4 Hindi films coming. So then where do you stand? So it's important. Why I'm stating all this is because it is important for an industry to have a commercial approach to cinema, because without commerce, an industry cannot survive. For that matter, any industry. You want the GDP of this country to go up, then you want every industry to do well.
Right.
Similarly, if you want the Marathi industry to grow, then it's important that bigger films be made, and that's only possible if people come to the theaters to watch the film. That's only possible if you make good enough films for them to come and watch.
Right.
Because they're spoiled for choices, right? So they have Hindi films, they have dubbed Hollywood films, they have dubbed South films now. So there is a lot of competition there. And how do you make films that can resonate with the Marathi milieu, and how can we get them to the theaters?
Right, Genelia, you have worked in different industries. What he's trying to do is something bigger here. As a viewer and as an actor, do you also believe that, technology-wise, we have to up the game? That's when people will come to the theaters. Do you see that happening since you worked in the past as well? Today, when you're on a set of Ved, do you see technology has become better? Things have become better.
Absolutely. I mean, when I started off and when I was doing South films then also, it was a much smaller market. Like today, it's bigger or as big as the Hindi film industry. But when we were doing things then also, I saw a whole transition. Like I've had the good fortune of working with Rajamouli and to seeing a Bahubali as well. Like I did say to, so I've seen that kind of growth in terms of in Marathi cinema. When we do a film. There's obviously a budget constraint because we are just a small market. But having said that, Riteish was very clear that his first film would be in Marathi. And whether it was in Marathi or whether it was in Hindi, he would do it the same way. So that meant no compromise at all. Like it's not like, because it would be a Hindi film, we would give him more time than a Marathi. We gave him the same amount of time. Now in that, the important thing was to back it up with whatever he dreamt of. So whether it was Unreal Engine, the whole VFX thing, which he'll tell you a lot more about. But the idea being to try your best in every department. So even whether it was hair, makeup, costumes, DOP, lights, the phantom camera being used, everything in terms of what we did in the film, there was effort, there was thought, there was a lot of planning. I personally believe that, budgets fail, films don't fail. So, I mean, you may not make tons of money, but you won't fail if your commerce is right or if your planning is right. So, that's something I help out in. Like, I try and take that aspect on. But there has to be a step further. There has to be a visual treat in everything. And that doesn't have to be a wrong visual treat. Like in terms of if you're in a middle class house, it has to be pleasant looking. But it needn't be like, grandeur. That is not like, I feel that's the confusion very often, that just for the sake of showing grandeur, you go crazy. There's a beauty about being middle class. There's a beauty about being simple, and that also needs a lot of makeup. Like when people say no makeup look, no makeup look is also a look. It is makeup. It's just about doing it well. So when you're talking about technology also, if you want it to look in a certain way, you have to use the right kind of thing, and that is technology, eventually. So I definitely have seen that change. And even with Ved, I have seen Riteish ask for some things which when he was shooting, like, and I would be like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, do you need all of that? And he was very clear that I need it. We found ways of making it happen. And I think as a producer and, apart from being the actor, I'm happy that we gave it our best.
It looks that you all gave your best.
No, I'll just add one thing. When you talk about anything new, anything technological advancement that's happening within the cinematic world, how do you use that in your film? So, Ved Lavlay song with Salman Bhau that we did, we have done that in Unreal Engine software.
Okay.
And that's definitely the first Marathi song, and probably there's no song in Hindi film that is done on an Unreal Engine till now.
Right. Do you want to tell the audience what this is? This is an audience that we don't understand.
So I'll tell you what. Unreal Engine is a software that we use,
Right.
and we shot it against green screen.
Okay.
We worked with Mr. Jayant from famous studios, the VFX studios that they have, and we created the entire street. Also because it was to be shot during rains, and we couldn't shoot outdoor, and the song was supposed to be outdoor and at night. So we decided to make the entire sets, and we modeled the entire set on computer graphics.
Wow.
And then what we did is we knew exactly where we were shooting, just the touch points were made. And then we had Bhai and we shot the entire song. Post that, we went and we exactly knew what we wanted. So every time we wanted to change the window, put some light, put some trees, and the idea is that once you shift the camera, right, the entire model starts shifting with the camera.
Right.
So it's put on the software, and that's what. And this is of course time constraint and within for a Marathi film, whatever we could do, because definitely if you're doing it on a larger scale, you need that kind of budgets.
Right.
But we could do it smartly
Right.
and effectively.
Right.
Because it's important that when people see the song, they feel, oh, it's like a regular normal song and it's a good song. So
Right.
The beauty of VFX is also the fact that you should not feel that there's some work done. You should look as natural as possible and enjoy the song. You
Right.
see sometimes of course you want them to be wowed by the VFX. That's a different approach. But my job here in the song is not for you to be wowed by VFX. I want you to look at, you have Mr. Salman Khan in the center dancing with the protagonist of the film, and that's what you want.
Riteish, what I want to ask you is, producer and director is where the tussle is. Producer wants to make money, it should be lucrative, or like she was saying, budgets fail. Here, the creative person that Riteish is wants everything.
Oh my God.
So how do you handle this tussle within yourself? Because one, you want the best, you want to give the best quality. You are yourself telling me the challenges that Marathi cinema faces. How do you find this balance?
It is difficult because there was a cricket sequence in the film that I was shooting, and I said I need 3 days, and she said that no, you cannot have 3 days. I actually wanted 4 days. She said I'll give you 2 days because I can't. Your film cannot afford. I said, but I need these shots and I need this, and I've thought of this shot and that. He said that is fine. You choose what you want because this is a film. And rightfully so, we shot it in 2 days. I stole half a day from somewhere else and still did that. So 2.5 days I did. And then later there was a sequence where I said, I just give me 1 day. And she said, no, you take 3 days for this.
Okay.
Because this is where the soul of the film is. So don't compromise on this. So what happens is that there's a balance between me and engineer to understand, okay, fine, I will be more than happy यार मुझे एक दिन चाहिए तुम 3 दिन दे रहो बाजू तुम देखो मेरा थोड़ी काम है.
Yeah.
So there's a nice balance out there to understand. Also what happens is that slowly on the road you understand that indulgence for a filmmaker, it's important to find your sequences where you want to explore indulgence.
Right.
It cannot be everywhere because it needs also it's a film that you're making in a language where the market is extremely restricted.
Right.
Yes, if there's a certain market to it and then you can indulge yourself, then fair enough, go ahead. There's nothing wrong in it. But when you have restricted parameters, what can you make the most of it? But apart from that, my main criteria was, see, I'm an architect. So there will be certain frames that will be more architectural, more landscape frames which I like. There'll be frames wherever I could do, but I will not put them above the scene or the emotion of the film.
Right. Right.
So when it is emotional, it's my basic frame to catch them because I don't care of the backdrop. I care of the actor and what he's trying to convey, and is it coming to. Of course, there are things where there are long shots. There's a scene in the film where Mama Ashok Saraf uh, is trying to had just had a heart attack, and after having a heart attack, his friend is trying to convince Satya, the main protagonist, to do something.
Okay.
Now, I was shooting that on a beach. I took an absolute landscape shot where it's sunset, it's wet, and Ashok Mama is sitting like a small figure in this, looking towards the ocean, almost like sunset of his life. And there's a corner. So it's just in my head. I don't know how many people might get it, not get it.
Right.
But wherever I thought I wanted to do that, but post that, it is wherever. So the close-ups and mids and whatever one has to do. But yes, you have to choose emotions over being cinematic, and cinematic should only add to cinematic visuals should add to what emotion you're trying to convey.
Right. Is it two questions? One, is it tough to tell him that sorry, I'm not giving you 4 days?
Yeah.
And two, is it easy to convince him with that?
So the thing is, I've always been on the other side as well, and I know how much this matters. You
Right.
know, like not in direction, but I'm just saying as actors, you know when a set is smaller, when a set is bigger. You know when people are just rushing through something, or when people are taking time and doing. So I understand that aspect of it. Now, having said that, Riteish is a great. We're a great team. I would say, like in terms of we don't overstep each other's capabilities or abilities or want of doing something, so if he feels that he wants to do it in a certain way, I want to make that happen. It's not like I don't want to make that happen, and I'll try my level best, whether it's in the way I plan it or in the, if it really comes to a point where I feel that it is more about luxury than about this, then I'll go to him and say, this is it. And in that also, I'll give him luxury. It's not like, I'll take that aspect. For me, as a producer, I'd always want to give the director or the people that work in MFC that 20% of luxury. Like I'd want that on, for them to have. But for that, you need to be particular about the other 80%. Like you can't be having luxury in that 80% and then expect me to give you that extra 20% is what I feel. But with Riteish, he's very easy, like, and with us, like as people, we sit and talk. So even if it's an issue with, art or with choreography or whatever, we would sit and talk. We wouldn't hide it for any which way. If there's a reason I'm saying no, it's a conversation. Right. It's not because I have the control to say no that I'm saying no. It's about it not needing it or it not being possible. Right. That's about it. So so no, it wasn't difficult to answer your question. He was a good team player throughout, and I hope I was a good team player too.
Was she?
No, absolutely. I think most of my stress was gone because you want a production to be handled by someone who's able and who you can trust, so that I could concentrate on getting the other stuff right. See, it was new to me, so it was also being at the back of mind. Also, with the actor that I was working, I thought they were also judging me as to what I was doing. It's not easy. It's the most difficult part about directing for the first time is to decide that you want to direct.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's the first step. That is the most scariest
step. So why
step.
did you want to direct? First question.
Whatever I know about films is because I watched a lot of movies.
Right.
Okay. But whatever I learned about filmmaking was when I came on the set. I had no clue. We were newcomers. I didn't know what tripod was, camera, lensing. All this was on the set, and I used to spend a lot of time on the set just looking at people, acting, how they perform, whatever. And slowly, then I decided, should we produce a film? That is also a big step.
Yeah.
Should we get into production? You're an actor. Why you want to get into production? Not your job. But you want to make certain kind of films. See, also the films that I have produced are not the films that I have made the choices as an actor, because they never came to me. So it was very important. And then when every time was a progress in life, you need to take a step ahead from whatever you're doing. So from acting, it went to production. After 10 years of production, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I thought, I want to direct. The first person I spoke to was Genelia, and she said, "I think you can." I said, "But no,
I
I won't."
always knew he wanted to direct, but like because he sees films as a very different.
Okay.
Like if him and me are seeing films, we both have two
Different audience.
different perspectives on it. Like I just see it very layman, like very normal. He sees it with wow, this shot, oh, and I've not even seen that shot. I'm like, so I always felt that he was going to do it at some point in time. Like he said, sometimes it's just difficult to take that decision, but. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming at some point.
Right.
I say Riteish wakes up every day with one dream, and then we have to find ways of solving it every day. Like he's even launched Desh Music now.
Right. Yes. I
It's
was
his
just
dream
watching.
which I support. Like I feel that's.
Right. Coming to you again, Genelia, what was his, now coming to the film, what was his brief about the character firstly that you play? You played such different characters in life. Here we see you in such a different avatar.
Yeah, so I've always played, this young,
Yeah.
bubbly, and more like the first girl actually
Right.
in the film. The other role, like there's another girl, and so there are two love stories basically in our film. The first love story is extremely fresh, young, and that's something that I've played my entire life. To a point where Ritesh told me about this character, and it sounded really interesting. The strange part is I've always been bubbly, chirpy, and stuff like that as characters. But for the last 10 years, I've been a homemaker. I did nothing but, was a homemaker, was there for, relationships like husband-wife relationship, children-mother relationship, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship. That was my life for the last 10 years, looking after the house, figuring it out. And I did that. And I found it the toughest job, by the way, the homemaker's job. Now, that's something that Ritesh had seen about me, I feel, more than I have seen about myself. So, when Shravani's character was offered to me, there was like a graph. It started from being really young, and not someone who's out there, not someone who's extremely confident to go and say what she's feeling, but very confident within herself about what she's feeling, So, it starts from there, it goes into a zone where she gets married, it goes into a zone of, having to take a lot of strong decisions of being supposed. So for me, it's honestly my most complex character that I've played. Like I have not played something as complex as it. I've played some characters in the south which are like different, but again they were very young. It was a very you know prior 25 phase. It was that kind of zone that I've always played. This is post. This is like a 30-year-old girl probably at that zone. And it starts with her being really young. So there was a whole graph. Now, having said that, I don't think I did too much in that. I think he had designed everything so clear. Like, and that's the beauty about playing a character. Like when it's designed so well, then you just go with your process as an actor. Like Riteish was extremely particular about how I need to look, to my bindi, to my earrings. Like there was a point where I'm coming after 10 years and you're making me so simple. Like he wouldn't even allow a stitch different. Like, like he wanted to have self on self, a lot of self on self in terms of colors and stuff like that. And initially I was like, but why? Why? And he was clear, like, she has eyeliner, she has, like, all those aspects he gave me. But I just didn't get it. I just, like, initially, and then when I started seeing what he was shooting, then I just let myself go into this character. But even in that aspect, like, for being a new director, and I've done quite a bit of work, every expression that I gave, I would come and check with him because even with my smile, like he had engineered how much I need to, in terms of this is not Shravani. She wouldn't go like there is a coyness, there is a a depth to this kind. So there was a lot of listening to Riteish also because he has lived with this film like like it's Rian, Ryle, and Wade. It's
Nice,
like
yeah.
that kind
So
of zone.
sweet.
It's that much of a baby to him. Till date, like
Till
we're
date,
2 days
yeah.
to the release. Every day he's going to find one. Like that's I guess his involvement.
Of
It's
course.
probably a small thing, and that's something that I don't even know
I know.
about. You know, and he's like, "Did you notice that?" And I'm like, "No," but
Like yesterday, we had a cast and crew
Yes.
trial, and everything was fine. And then I sat there and I realized two places the background scores 2 notches lower than what I had.
what he had
Yeah.
thought.
Then
Which
at
none of
night,
us have
and
know, but yeah.
so then I had to go at 2 o'clock at night to change the background score. Two subtitling were wrong, so I had to figure that out. And
Amazing.
so yeah, I mean, you see, because once it's gone, then it's
Yeah,
gone. There's nothing you can do. Like right now, I'm sitting with here with
Hmm.
you, and there's nothing I can do over the film.
Yeah.
Right.
It is what it is.
It is what
Yeah.
it is.
No, and coming back to like Shravani, I feel that I'm at a phase where I'd like to play a lot more of these roles.
right.
Like, you know, I'd like to do stuff like that. I was happy that he's given me that. Because see, I also haven't seen myself like this. I've also seen myself very different. And I think there's so much scope to do so much
Yeah,
work
yeah.
in that genre. Yeah.
Right. You know, you're saying this, it's so exciting, so can't wait to watch it because, you know, what you achieved when you were actively working was something you, Genelia, completely conquered. And, you know, nobody till date has been able to. A lot of people thought that, you know, there'll be someone like you who'll come and fit that box.
Yeah.
Nobody has done that till
Oh no,
date.
thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a blessing in a large aspect, but I also think that I'm just me. Like
Yeah.
from the time I've knew anything about acting, I just wanted to play the roles that I wanted to play,
Right.
and I didn't want to be one of those, you know, actors who had the best clothes, and it
That's
just
totally-
wasn't part of me. And I think that's a large audience. Like when people used to ask me, I remember, you know, when I won one of these awards for the most amount of ads for that year that I had done, and people were like, you know, there are bigger actresses and stuff like that, and here you are someone who keeps getting and they had told me something very interesting which said that, you know, you're that link between the consumer and the brand, which like many people say we don't want to be girl next door, but I love it. Like I love it. Yeah.
Right, and good, we get to see some side of that on
Yeah.
Instagram, so keep that going, please.
Those were my auditions with Riteish.
Ritesh, you know, talking to an audience that will go and watch this, you know, there are Marathi cinema lovers, there are people waiting for this. What do you want to tell them? You know, she was telling a little bit about the story, but who is this made for? What kind of an audience? Lay Bhari was one particular audience. This is so different.
So Wade actually is primarily, it's not a love triangle. There are two love stories. So one love story is at a younger age when, you know, how do I say it? Let me start off by saying Wade means madness, and you need to you know, nurture certain madness in you to live.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no point of living. Okay, there has to be madness in what you do. It may be a job, it may be the sport you play, it may be the work you do, it may be the family you have, or whatever. There has to be certain craziness, certain passion, madness. So Wade definitely means crazy, passion, madly in love, passionately in love. But this talks about romance. Primary two love stories. One love story is much more younger. At younger love story, there's a certain rush, there's euphoria, and you know, at that age when you fall in love, you only think about the person in front of you and yourself, and the world disappears because the world doesn't matter at that age. It's just you and me, and it's a very impulsive kind of a love story. And 12 years later, you find Satya because one day, out of nowhere, the girl disappears from his life for no reason. And now 12 years later, Satya finds himself married to Shravani, which is played by Genelia. And, you know, after the girl leaves, he goes in a dark space, self-destruction mode, starts drinking, smoking, good for nothing. And here finds himself married to Shravani. Now the love story shifts through Shravani's perspective. And how Shravani has always loved this boy from her childhood.
Wow, nice.
And at one point she decided, and it's selfless love. So there's a certain madness about selfless love.
Right.
where you have surrendered yourself without expecting the other person to love you. And that's what a certain kind of maturity that she brings to the relationship and whatever.
Right.
And I believe this film is for the entire family viewing.
Yeah.
Like Lay Bhari was, youngsters, action and whatever, and but this film has a bit of that and a lot of family. So I feel that you will experience, definition or madness in love at various age groups.
Okay.
So it could be young, it could be older. The relationship between a daughter-in-law, father-in-law, a mother and the father, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. So we have explored the relationships a lot in this film.
Nice. More power to you. You're doing two good things. One, you're always working on making the best film, and you're doing good for the audience that loves Marathi cinema. So more power to you for that.
Thank you.
And I want to ask you lastly, I'm also told that you're back with a bang. You're shooting quite a bit.
Yes.
What all should the audience expect in this coming year?
So Ved is there.
Yes.
Then there's a film with Chrome Pictures with Alia Sen. She's the director. So I'm doing a film on that. I'm doing another South film which is a bilingual between them. And yeah,
Wow.
then I hope to do a lot more. Yeah.
Fantastic. Guys, can't wait to watch this. So please show me also very
Yes,
soon.
thank you,
Yes.
Rohit.
I have a few fun questions.
All right, let's do this.
About both of you. So let's do this also quickly. Who should I start with?
Whoever.
Genelia first. Your favorite Ritesh's film that was in Marathi?
In Marathi,
Yeah.
I think Le Bhari. Yeah.
It will be your
Yeah.
favorite? Right. Who's the person he texts the most apart from you think?
Milap Zaveri.
Is that true?
I deny this allegation.
Right.
Milap, if you're listening to this,
It's Milap
this
Zaveri.
is not true. I don't have time for Milap.
Oh, that's a lie.
Right. Genelia, tell me 3 films that he has done with Akshay Kumar.
Houseful, Hey Baby, Houseful 2,
Yeah.
3,
3,
4,
4.
Namaste,
Entertainment,
Yeah.
Namaste London.
Right.
Oof.
Yeah.
Name a film in which Ritesh dressed as like a woman.
Apna Sapna Man Man.
Very well. Yeah.
Jeans, you're killing it.
Name the actors he mimics very well according to you.
Yeah, I think he mimics a lot
Yeah,
very
yeah.
well. But Pran Saab, I think, who else it is?
Amir.
Amir, yeah, he does Amir very well. Sanjeev.
Yeah,
Kumar,
Sanjeev.
yeah.
Right. These are the best ones.
I mean, don't make me do it, but
No, he
Yeah.
does a lot of
Yeah.
them. And I think people like him doing it also.
Yeah,
so-
everyone loves him doing it.
Yeah.
What is his go-to line according to you when he does it? When he wants to say no to someone,
go to line.
I don't think he says no very often. I think I'm the person who doesn't know.
he
part.
comes to you for that.
Yeah.
Right. One habit that you think he can change now.
Oh,
with
many.
all the experiences.
Oh my God, time management. It is.
Time management.
Yeah. For sure. Like,
I'm a last minute specialist.
Right.
he's
Everything
last
is
minute
last
is
minute.
okay, but we have to work on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Right. One.
Chandni and Ayush
Yeah,
are listening there. They're
bo-
both giving me thumbs
My
up.
management team is saying yes, that's true.
Right. One theory that he tells kids when he wants something to be done.
From them.
Yeah. Or when he doesn't want them to do something. Is there something that he goes to?
No, he's just very honest, like with them. Like,
Okay.
do this, don't do this. Like, there's no beating around the bush. There's no, if you do this, I'll give you that.
None of
it's
that.
not
Oh,
like
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah.
How much time does he spend on the phone? Is he a big phone person?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think even I am. I mean, not just with films. I think even with children's work, everything is phone today.
Yeah, that's true.
But we are making a very conscious effort to not have it at our dining table.
Nice.
To not sleep with the phones in the night.
Yes.
I mean, this is like new,
Yeah,
not sleeping with the phone. Last 3
Yeah.
days, I think we've kept it in the other room only. But
Wow.
we're trying.
Right. Well done. Coming to you.
Oh, lovely, let's
Yes.
go.
Tell me one college that Genelia attended.
One college,
Did she attend only one
One.
college or?
BMS College,
Okay.
What is the name?
Yeah.
Andrews.
Andrews. Yeah. Correct. Right. Do you want to tell the viewers who don't know what's the meaning of Genelia?
What's the meaning of Genelia? It's the combination of a parent's name, Jeanette and Neil. Genelia, and as Genelia says, it's just unusual and special, just like her. And as a husband, I have to just agree.
Right. Your favorite Genelia movie, the most favorite.
Most favorite, I think my top favorite is Bombarelu, a Telugu film.
Yeah.
And second favorite is Jaane Tu Ye Jaane Na.
Nice. Something that she doesn't leave home without.
Doesn't leave home without.
Yeah. What does she carry? Anything? Any must-haves?
Actually, she's not very particular of carrying, but now she loves her small backpack that she likes to carry and put stuff in it. But
100 things in.
But nothing like, oh, I have to have this.
Yeah.
Right. Who does she talk to the most apart from you?
Apart from me, there are three people that she talks to.
Okay.
Number one will be her mum.
Yeah.
Number two will be Nandita and Mushtaq Sheikh.
Right.
And your mom.
Right.
And my mum, of course.
Yeah, of course. Instagram bio says she has a superpower, but according to you, what is her superpower?
Her superpower? I think her superpower is the fact that she can multitask many roles.
Okay.
So being a mother, she's fantastic. She knows what's happening with the kids, food, diet. As a wife, she knows she's doing whatever best. As a daughter, she can talk to her mom and figure out what. As a daughter-in-law, she's a bridge between me and my mother. So she talks to my mom more than I talk to her. And whenever I need my wife and a friend to talk, so her superpower is the fact that she keeps all these people above herself, and it's never about her, but it's about the relationships that she has with people.
How sweet. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Lastly, now that you directed her biggest strength as an actor?
Her eyes.
Your eyes. Well done.
No, because I just feel that any actor who can express what's in your heart without saying a word is a great actor.
Right. And you know, what you were saying is that even the smile that he wanted, now that you say that, I've noticed that in the song, it's completely something that you can't
It's
hide.
engineered,
Engineered.
it's like literally, don't smile too much. Like, because I'm always known to be that, and he will be like, I want that jhalak of, you know, Genelia, but so he's given me one or two sequences to be crazy.
You let that happen, ki chalo, I have a moment.
No, yeah. I mean, also what happens that when you asked me, why did I direct? Right? The first question, why did I decide to direct? Before we part, I just want to tell you the truth. And it's straight from my heart. That, you know, after being married for so many years, I wanted one point to tell my wife, cut. Enough.
Well done.
And at some point, she needed to listen to me.
Good. You made a full film because of that, just for that.
That's a pleasure. And also, I'm telling you, okay, all those husbands who think that you want to tell your wife, enough, I won't listen to this, do one more, or this is not right. It's just a dream.
Yeah.
You have to direct for this dream to come true.
He does realize that I'm the producer, right?
Right.
See, your cameraman is nodding there. He's saying yes.
Everyone in the room is nodding. Right. Let me, whoever gave it to doesn't really matter. I'll give it to Genelia.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much.
so much. Hi guys, this is Riteish Deshmukh.
Hi, this is Genelia Deshmukh.
And you're watching Bollywood Hungama.